No, I've never thought about it. And, they may well do it. But I think as long as they're making money out of the original with box sets, collector's sets, I mean, there's a new collector's set every couple of years with extra things and all that. But, how do you top Stanley Kubrick? They tried to do it with Lolita, and it was a very good film, actually. Jeremy Irons was a wonderful actor. But, how do you top James Mason and Stanley Kubrick? I mean, you can't, Kubrick was a genius. He was a cinematic genius, period, end of. Up there with Charles Chaplin and, John Ford. I mean, Kubrick is one of our greats. And what made Kubrick so special was that he made classic movies in every single genre. And without Kubrick doing 2001, he took science fiction into a millennium leap. Before 2001, it was Flash Gordon and cardboard sets. And without Stanley, I don't think George Lucas would have made Star Wars. I don't think it would have been done so soon. He made that possible. So, we're talking about, with Kubrick, about one of just the greatest directors of all time, and my privilege and my luck to work with him in one of his great movies. We're very lucky. We have Roman Coppola, Jason Schwartzman, Paul Weiss as our creative force behind the show. They're A-list people. They're great artists themselves. And we've got this extraordinary, complex group of characters, all in this orchestra. And, it's just no holds barred. I mean, we can go anywhere with it, and they do. And we've just, I think the season 2 actually is even better than season 1. And so to go to work on something like this is a sheer pleasure for me. I think it's the best television I've ever been involved with. And I've done a few good ones like, Entourage and things like that, which was groundbreaking of its time, and was a wonderful show. I think this is even more interesting because it's more complex. And I think people are slightly intimidated, by classical music. And honestly, I really am happy because I think the show, I think people are finding it, and I think young people are finding it, and they're finding classical music. And years ago when I did Clockwork Orange with Stanley Kubrick, and it was a huge hit, this movie, we brought Beethoven to the masses. And I think this show is doing the same thing with other pieces of music. And I'm very happy by that because, even though I love rock and blues and all the rest of it, it is all based, and you ask the Beatles this, in classical music. And Mozart is not a bad way to start. I played Thomas Pembridge, who is this very eminent conductor who, when the character that Gael Garcia Bernal plays, he comes in as the new, exciting conductor. I'm kicked upstairs to the board, and I'm not very happy about it. The first scene, we're butting heads, and I can't stand him. In the second season, things changed. There is a sense of a mentor, and there's all kinds of different things going on. I go off for a sabbatical. I come back renewed, and I'm writing the Great Symphony. And I think it's the most genius thing I've ever done. Unfortunately, I'm the only one who thinks that. And I can't wait to see the new one. I hear it's spectacular, and everyone's talking about the grosses and what it does. But J.J. Abrams is a wonderful director. I mean, a great director. So I'm so looking forward to taking my boys, who are all dying to see it. But I thought I'd wait until the crowds died down a little bit. But I don't think it's going to happen. It's going to be, it's so strong. But no, I look forward to it. I saw the original Star Wars. I was it was placed in a film festival, and I was on the jury, and I saw this. The original Star Wars was, and it's such a spectacular movie. The first one I thought was fantastic, and what George did and all that, and so to now have new impetus, a new creative force on it. It's such a brilliant stroke by Disney, I guess, that bought the whole thing, and it's one of those things that will last forever. I mean, forever, in terms of cinema, though, whatever they'll be doing, And now we're on episode 24 of Star Wars, Oh, are you kidding? San Francisco is one of the great cities of the world, not of only the United States. And it is absolutely one of my favorite places on earth. And I was there just 2 weeks ago, so at Florio's. What a great restaurant. I mean, you've got so many of them. I'm sorry, but that's the one I went to, so I mentioned that one. But what an incredible city, and with the great museums. I love to take my kids up there, and we just hang, and walk around and take the odd Uber. It's fun. It's one of the great cities, not only culturally. I work with the symphony orchestra up there too, and it was so much fun. I worked up there with Elvis Costello this year, so we did Soldier's Tale, and so I spent a bit of time in San Francisco, and I have a lot of friends there, and to me it's my second home.